What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Humble in the building, back here again with another banger. I know it's been a long time since I made an episode on my podcast. Man, life, things happen, you know what I'm saying? But God's timing is never late. So today, we're about to, you know what I'm saying? We're about to switch it up. We're about to talk about a few things that has been going on in this world. We're gonna address it and bring awareness and start a conversation and see what other people are thinking out there. You know, so that's how we're gonna do. I have my girlfriend. We're going to sit down and have a talk because she's a religious person, and I would like to sit down with a religious person and ask some questions. And also, 2025 has been off to a crazy start. You get me? And so much has happened since the beginning of this year. We're only 3 months in. 3 months in, and it's already like feel like we've been in this week. It's been like 8 months, almost 10 months in. Only 3 months. Stay tuned. It's gonna get bad before it get better.
This year, blessings, money, testimony. With the follow, in the go. This year, good news, Charlie, Montibon.
Yeah, man, where do we start? It's been a long time. Last time we did this episode was, I can't remember when, but it's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
We talked about your life, your path with how you started to find God and what it's done for you and things of that nature. Now that video was booming. I think it was the best one I did.
One of them had like 10,000 views.
Yeah, that was the best one I did. It had a lot of conversations. Like it's like it sparked a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
So, one thing I wanna address a few things, and today was the right day to start this conversation. I didn't even plan on this. It just happened out of nowhere. I was like, "You're here. Let's do the podcast." Initially, I was gonna do it by myself, but then it was like, "Well, let's do it. You're here. Might as well just do it while you're here." So, have you watched the TV show called? Come on, shit! I just had it on my head.
Is it a religious one?
Alright, we're gonna talk about that later. It's that plane that went missing and then they came back 2 years later. Family thought they were dead, but then they came back 10 years later. They did a show on Netflix with that plane. No, it's a show. What's your phone?
When did it come out? Like a couple years ago?
It's a show on Netflix.
A show? Manifest?
Yes.
I've never seen that. My mom has seen it.
Yes, Manifest was a very interesting show because I liked it a lot. And the lady, the characters, for some strange reasons, one of the girls basically could see things before they happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, some things would tell her, oh, go help that lady, go help that lady, go help that lady, go help that lady. And she was just like, what are you talking about? It's a voice in her head. And then she would just walk, and don't know where she's going. And then boom, there's a lady and he's like, for me. And I think that's just interesting because it's gonna bring me back to what I'm going to talk about, because that pen went missing. Essentially in the show it was 5 years or 10 years, and then they finally came back, right? And then but there was a I think this was, I don't know if this was 10 years ago. There's a plane that went missing. I don't know if it was going to Belgium somewhere, Beijing, somewhere over there. It went missing to this day. They've never been able to find it.
Like a real story?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's been actually a couple of stories of that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So did you see the show Manifest?
Yeah, I've watched the show. I just never watched like the third season. I don't know how many. I watched when it first came out, and then finished the seasons, and then they added new seasons that I haven't watched it. But I just thought that was very interesting after that show came out. I think it came out 10 years later that incident happened where the people that were flying out disappeared, and they've never been able to be found. But now they're saying they found like an engine and a wing in some part of the ocean, but different parts. So it's miles and miles away from where they were going. Right? They're finding parts of the plane in different areas, which doesn't make any sense. Which is not adding up. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, maybe if it exploded in the air, or like it could move. The ocean could move.
Yeah, for sure.
But
you know, that the ocean can move it, but I just thought that was interesting because the first thing we want to talk about, this brings me back to where we want to talk about it, is the planes. Is this planes?
Oh, yeah.
Since last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't know what the number is right now, but there had been 87 airplane crashes within this year alone.
That's not just international. That's like international. Is that the word?
Yeah,
That's not. No, it's not just the big planes. It's like obviously small ones too.
It's not.
And
it's
there's
not
plane
just
crashes all the
commercial
time,
jets.
like of smaller planes, but the amount of big plane crashes we've had recently is not normal.
The most recent one that blows my mind is the one that the military, I think it's a black jet, I don't know what it was, but the military.
Oh, the helicopter
Yeah,
that crashed into
that crashed into the plane that was landing.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, the helicopter,
Mhm.
because there was no way for the guy who was landing to even see that. Maybe he did see that, but there was no way for him to even go higher or lower. They were,
The pilots.
the pilots on with the commercial
Oh,
plane,
yeah,
there was
no.
no way for them to do because the plane was already landing.
Yeah.
So the guy, you can tell it's almost like he was intentionally going into that plane. Like he wanted
yeah,
to hit that plane.
Yeah, that's what doesn't sit right with me is the fact that these every flying everything flying in the air has a radar with everything else. Like that's required. Like you have to have the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they'll
Like,
have like
you-
radars and then
Yeah, and then the people in the cell
telephones.
towers and all that.
Yeah, no, for sure. When that happened, the people who were communicating with them, who were seeing this happen, they were saying, "Oh, there's a plane coming. There's a plane coming. Oh, there's an helicopter. It's about to hit it. It's about to hit it. Oh, it just hit." And then
But-
it says,
Yeah, they can't avoid it.
but their reaction was, "Oh, it just hit it." How many souls were on board? I think it was the third question how many souls were on board is what they asked. But they were so calm about it though. When it happened, it was so calm. Like it was just way too chill for something of that magnitude to happen for you to just be calm. I'll be like, whoa, hold on, what just happened?
Yeah.
I'll be freaking out. So the fact that there was chill didn't sit right with me, and the fact that that plane was a military plane didn't sit right with me. The helicopter that crashed into the plane was a
Yeah,
military
you don't
plane.
just crash into it. They could have avoided that. They had especially because helicopters don't go nearly as fast. That thing, like, I mean, obviously they had a military helicopter which goes faster, but they see a plane, you could have avoided that. You could have avoided that from like a mile ahead. So.
Yeah, and they have like again, they have people telling them that there are people directing them. If there's a plane, they're gonna tell them avoid this way. There's a plane coming towards that direction. Just avoid that. Go up, go higher, go lower.
If a plane is like flying and then they see a helicopter coming their way, the plane can't really maneuver and make a quick like turn. That's not really like, they couldn't have avoided it. The pilots were not at fault, obviously, but yeah.
Well, with this plane crash is what's interesting about the one that I was on to Beijing, where I heard that there were people on that plane that were from South Korea, and they had discovered some sort of essentially they had made something. They came to the U.S. to make something like a potent. Is it a patent?
Which plane crash are we talking about?
It's the ones in Belgium. There were like 4 passengers that had made something that's gonna change the whole world, but they had it in their hands for safety because they don't know. The Americans the Americans are weird. They can off you and say you suicide. I mean you took yourself out. So it was used. I think when I was reading the story, it was saying they were holding that as insurance so they can get whoever they was getting to safe because that information that they had was very sensitive information. It couldn't be released by anyone, right? For some strange reason, that plane went missing.
I believe it.
And then there was another plane that went missing that was coming from like this children's hospital. I can't remember what hospital it was. It didn't go missing. It blew up. It had like 6 people that were coming from the hospital. And
Recently?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was in Atlanta. somewhere with the children's hospital where there's a private plane that was coming with like six people, and I don't know who those people was, but I can't remember exactly who those people were, but apparently they were important people and stuff like that. And that hospital is not. They've done a lot of sinister things. So essentially, what they were saying was, they were saying someday those people had the people that were flying out got somebody did something to make sure the plane didn't get up or land and fall back. If you mean, because it doesn't add up for these planes to 87 planes in 2025 alone. That this 87, this was 2 months in, 87 crashes in 2 months of this year. Yeah, so that didn't add up with me, because now this Belgian plane, they're saying now that happened years ago, but now they're now just finding parts of the plane. Now, just finding parts of the plane. That's very interesting. Anyways, if you guys have any, I know I went on about that. I just had it on my mind. And if you guys have any like thoughts or theories that you guys, or videos or links or articles I can go to and read more about it, and so I can elaborate on this living better, comment that down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on, or with the plane crashes, or that plane that was going to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was going to Belgium, or Belgium, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, this brings me back into my next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is the fires that has been taking places. I know we've talked about it a few times, and this is what I really wanted you here for. Yes. So tell me more about the fires. Why do you think these fires are happening? Yeah.
So the fire specifically in LA, I believe is before I get into that, let me just say that obviously there's innocent people everywhere. Like there's innocent people in Israel and Palestine and all these in Congo. There's innocent people everywhere with all these like tragic wars and events and things happening. Just like in California, there's a lot of innocent people and good people. However, I do believe that Hollywood is a really like evil industry, and in the Bible specifically, and like Revelations, it talks about like in the last days, like the earth is gonna burn, and it's kind of like cleansing itself, and it's not necessarily to like kill the people. Like it's not like God is like trying to kill the people, but obviously how the world is right now, God would not be happy with these people's choices. And I think, like whatever reason that the fire was like started, whatever, people have their own beliefs, like regardless of proof or whatever, but I think there's definitely things you can like learn from it, because I feel like it hit a really like rich area for one, and you have to remember that regardless if you're religious or not, like this is just the truth, like all these things on the earth are temporary and they're not coming with us when we die. And it just shows that like, all these people that had like $1 million homes like just burned down, they have nothing now. And I think that's the good thing about God, is like you could lose everything but you'll never lose God. But I think the reason that these fires are happening is obviously because, for one, we're in the last days, and two, it's to show people something and warn them. But I don't know, some people take it the wrong way and think like, oh, why would God try and like hurt people? Like God is not a God of harm, but there are things that are gonna happen before He comes, and He can still be disappointed and do things to show us and teach us things, if that makes sense. But that's just my take on it. Everybody has a different take, but obviously like natural disasters can still happen. There's still not good people, but there's a lot to learn from this. So yeah.
So you believe God caused this fire to happen?
It's not necessarily caused, like I don't know how to put it, like God knew these things were gonna happen. I guess I can say it like that. Like God knows all these things have to happen before He comes back. And obviously, like, I'm not the smartest person to, like, I don't know all the, no human on this earth, like, we don't know all the details about the second coming and just about the Bible in general and God and everything, but, I believe that for whatever reason the fires were started, whether it was natural or whether somebody caused it or whether the government caused it, I just believe that there's a lot that people can learn, and I believe it's a warning from God, even if it's somebody else's actions. And like, I don't know how to explain like what I'm trying to say, because I don't believe that God would just like start a fire and burn a whole city down. But again, God is God.
He wiped down the city of the sinful city, Sodom and Gomorrah. Why would he not? If he can wipe out the whole city.
That's
Sodom and Gomorrah,
that's why I just like I don't necessarily know, but part of my belief is like for sure that like this has to do with like this is definitely related to God, but I just like I don't know, because like the wars that are happening right now, God didn't start those wars. Like obviously those were started by people. And
do you believe this war? Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
no, yeah, everything does happen for a reason.
And what reason is that?
For the wars?
Yes. And who's behind that reason?
Like, what do you mean, who's behind that reason? Like,
Everything happens for a reason, right? So who's behind that reason?
well, the wars, all I can tell you is, it says there will be wars and rumors of wars, and like there has been a lot of rumors of wars, let alone all the wars happening. But like I said, God didn't start those wars. Those wars were started by evil people, but God knew that these were going to happen. When the Bible was written, when He was giving these people inspiration to write the Bible, He obviously, God knows everything, so He knew this was gonna happen, and
He knew it was gonna happen, or he knew it could happen.
no, He knew it was gonna happen. God knows God knows our next move. God knows.
I know he knows. I know it's like he knows our next move. I'm trying to figure out, because if he knew this was gonna happen, that means he caused this to happen, right? Like the wars. If he knew it was gonna happen.
Oh no, because we all have agency. That's like somebody who has cancer. And they're like, God obviously, like when that baby was born into the world, God knew they were gonna develop cancer, and then they lost their life or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean it was God, because we have agency, and I can't really explain that right now on the top of my head. Like, what? Like, I can't talk about cancer right now and how like.
Yeah, cancer's not that. First of all, cancer's not that deep. Give it a buck. Cancer, they make it worse when you go to the hospital and get checked out. Apparently, I just found this out. I was talking to I can't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody, and I read somewhere, and so apparently when you get that tumor, right? So apparently, some people might have cancer right now. Don't even know. You feel me? And they can live with it for the rest of their life. When going to the hospital and then they tell me you have cancer, because the way cancer is talked about now is scary. They're like, oh, that's scary. And you tell me I have cancer, I just found out I have a disease, That was scary for me, but then I break it down, and it means your body is out of order. Something in your body is not working right. That's what a disease is. I thought a disease was some sick shit, but it just means there's something in your body that's not working the way it's supposed to be working. So that's why they call it a disease.
Yeah, and there's definitely cures to cancer. Like, whether people want to believe, that's like, bro, like, even though they say there's no cure, like, there has literally been, like, the people that have tried to cure that have been unalive. So, like, it's like, and the thing is when you go to the hospital, it's like, like, they have to keep you sick. So, like, the thing is if you go to the hospital for cancer, like, versus like trying to heal it naturally. Like they're just like gonna keep giving you things that are obviously not gonna help it. And that's why most people that go to the hospital who have cancer end up dying regardless. Like versus people who have cancer and heal it naturally who live a lot longer. Not to say it can't kill you. Like you can die of a heart attack right now. You know, there's our bodies were like we're all meant to die like at some point, and our bodies are gonna eventually shut down. But I mean, obviously, like they have to keep you sick or they're gonna lose money. Like there's
It's business at the end of the day.
yeah, it's
Going back to the cancer thing, right? Apparently, when you like you can live with cancer and not knowing that you have cancer and live a happy long life, right? And then I've heard stories about people who have cancer, and they find out that cancer, they go to so basically, let me talk about the tumor. Let's say I have a tumor right here, it's a cancer tumor right here. The reason why it builds up there, it's essentially it's like a magnet that pulls all that cancer. So basically, that tumor works as a magnet to pull everything together, so it doesn't go through my body, so it doesn't spread through my whole body. When it's hard to contain when it spreads like that, right? That's when it's bad. So that tumor that people usually have is actually to help your body, to help keep the cancer from spreading. But so what they do when you go to the hospital is I think they try to check you. When they check you, when they I don't know if I can't remember quite exactly, but they put a needle right in the thing to like test it. Right, when they do that, it makes it spread. That's when it becomes like a bad. That's when I'm not really like articulate in this like I'm supposed to, because I'm still new to this. You know, I'm just learning about this. I thought it was interesting, so I'm sharing it. But that's when it spreads. That's when it spreads more. It spreads throughout your body, and that's when it be like, oh my days, bro, you don't got that much to live anymore. Like we gotta take care of this right now. So chemotherapy and all this stuff. It's like when they start doing all that extra chemo stuff. You feel me? You start losing hair and all this, that's not on the foot. That's when it becomes scary, because now they essentially, like she said, they keep you there. They want to keep you there. The more sick you are, the more money they make. The more you keep coming back, the more they keep making money. So that's why when you go to the hospital, they tell you, oh, we can't do nothing right now. Come back when this gets serious. Like I feel my throat is closing up, and then you telling me to come back when my shit closed up. Like, come on, Jib. I don't add up. My eyes going blind, but you tell me to come back when my eyes actually go blind. What?
There's something to add on that too. The thing is, like, we have like, especially like in America, like, have like been brainwashed to believe that like cancer is not curable, autism is not curable. There's actually cures for autism, and the thing is, with a lot of these things are like imbalances in our body. My mom has a friend who had a son.
Hello, mother.
She had a son who was born autistic, really autistic, until he started taking supplement. I don't know if it was ashwagandha or that might be the wrong, but he was taking something when he was younger, and it's completely gone. Like, so the thing is like they're not gonna tell you that because they want these people to stay sick, and yeah, just I think honestly, like, it's kind of like off topic of what we're all talking about, but if you're ever at the doctor, don't ever let a doctor tell you that like you're not smart, or like, oh, you don't know that because you're not a doctor. Because just because you're not a doctor does not mean like, bro, you can go on TikTok or YouTube and learn things you will never hear throughout your life, because they don't want you to know these things. So honestly, like, every time I go to the doctor, which is not a lot now because I try and like stay away from that, but what?
I'm your doctor.
But every time I'm there, like, when it comes to like them trying to like put me on birth control to like clear my skin, I'm like, no, like, I don't need that, like, and I just talk about how it's not good and it can cause infertility and all these problems and cancer, and then they try and argue with me. It's like,
birth control?
yeah,
Oh,
like,
bro,
they try.
That's another that we just we're getting off topic. That hospital stuff. I want to talk about it in a different episode.
Okay, yeah. No, I was just sorry. I was just like
you're giving too much tea right now, and I need
okay.
that for the next.
Okay.
We're gonna just change
Okay.
clothes after this, so we can do another one. Like the hospital. We're gonna go 2 days right now.
Anyways.
Wait, going back to the fires. You want to the fires real quick, cause like you were talking about how I was like, you don't think God caused that? You said because your statement changed now because you were saying
it didn't.
It's just like a revelation of it's supposed to happen. It's just a revelation. God made it happen. I was like, I don't think God made it happen, and here's why. First of all, like a couple months prior to the fire happening, the fire department fired their people who were who knew how to handle these fire situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fired damn near a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that were well equipped to show out and show up at times like this, like we needed them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They hired they wanted to be more inclusive, so they hired a lot of LGBTQ members so they can be more inclusive. You feel me? And they did that, and a lot of insurance companies in that area pulled out of those people. They stopped providing insurance for those people months prior to that fire happening, right? And then the fire hydrants really didn't have any water anymore. When they came through, they didn't have water in the fire. Do you remember that? Like they didn't have fire in the fire hydrant. They had to use pool water from other people's apartments.
Oh yeah.
To keep that down, right? All of these things that happened is the reason why I don't believe God made this happen. It's supposed to happen, perhaps. However, I don't think God made it happen. That's the reason they fired people who were better equipped to take care of the situation. The fire hydrant didn't have any water in it. They defunded the fire department. They hired LGBT members to be more inclusive, and there's literally videos of people going around being recorded, throwing around fires, like starting little fires and stuff like that. I don't know how valid that is, but I've seen videos. Nowadays we live in an advanced civilization where everything has evolved. You can literally be in your house and make it seem like you're outside in LA starting fires. You feel me? So I just seen videos. You feel me? And for those reasons, I don't believe God started the fire.
I mean, it's not like when I say like God, well, for one, God knew it was gonna happen. Two, this has to happen before He comes back, because He literally said there's gonna be fires. Like this is not the end of it.
Right. It's another thing. I think the reason why these fires happened. First of all, there was also a fire that happened 2 years ago in Hawaii. I think it was 2 years ago in Hawaii. There's a fire that had that happen.
Yeah.
And then now here we are. The same thing is happening here, right? And then what don't add up is right when the fire was happening, 2 days later, the fire happening, there's news outlets talking and stuff, and then they were introducing new ideas of building smart cities out there in that fire, where in the places that fire took place. And also listen, the fire, I believe, this is just my theory. I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. It's my theory. It's not. I'm not saying it's 100. It's true. That's just what I think. And then you mentioned about how it was rich areas that were mainly attacked, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that's interesting. It was rich areas that were impacted by the fire. And I started to think, okay, these rich people, they probably have like $2.2 million homes, $10 million house. If they can afford to live out there, then it's probably like a $2 million home, right? Mm-hmm. But I was like, I would be, it's like, okay, like damn, it's rich people, it makes sense. But bro, that's how to think about it. I'm like, who are these rich people and what is their net worth? Mm-hmm. If your net worth is $100 million a year, what is you losing $5 million? These rich people are not dumb. They usually have like 3-4 more vacation homes in different area codes, different cities, different countries, different states. They usually have some type of backup like that. So I don't really feel bad for these people losing their homes like that because they're rich at the end of the day. They still got money. They
Well,
still.
that's another thing. Like, it's hard to feel bad for an evil industry. Like, obviously, there's innocent people, but even if they have other homes, you know, they were all disappointed. Like, that's not anything.
100%.
But, and like, when I say God, like, for one, yeah, he knew it was gonna happen too, but like, what do you expect, like, when you mock God, when you're going completely against him, and just, I'm talking about Hollywood though right now, like, that area specifically, why do you think God's gonna bless them? Like, why do you think, like, and what I mean by that is, like, you know, what happened with Kamala, like, mocking God, like, a couple weeks before the election, and Trump ended up winning. Like, you think God was gonna let somebody, like, if you mock God, you think he's gonna let you be the president of the United States? Like, and so what I think about the fires is, obviously, I'm not saying that God started it, but I do believe that it needed to happen for a reason. But I also believe, you know, everybody has their agency too, so these things will happen regardless. But I still don't really have, like, my opinion gathered on everything, because
That's another thing. Like, think about it. You gotta think about it from an evil person's perspective. If I was evil, and then there's a lot of religious people in this world, right? And what is one? I was like, okay, what is one thing that they follow the most? You know, it's God, right? And where did they get all these sources from? The Bible. What is your source? The Bible, right? And where in the Bible does it reveal, like, when God's gonna come on some of this stuff? Revelation. Oh, okay. So all I gotta do as an evil person that runs the world is I go to the Revelation, read what it says, and start making things happen. On that, no, there's things that are natural disasters that are naturally supposed to happen, but these fires aren't natural, and that's where religious people get mixed. They got confused. That's why I understand why you said God. I'm thinking about it from an evil person's perspective. I would go into Revelation and mock God. That's what they do. That's what they're doing, because they're being God now. They're mocking God and making fun of people who believe in God.
God does though say that he's gonna cleanse the earth. So, to be honest, like, that's the only reason why I would say, like, yeah, like, if the fire happened in that spot specifically, then I wouldn't be surprised, because, you know.
True. Yes. However, like I said, you gotta think about it from an evil person's perspective. I would go to Revelation, and whatever it says in there, God will cleanse this, the fire, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna make that happen.
I don't think it's necessarily the people doing that though. It's more the devil, if anything, just putting that in the people. I mean, there might be a person that intentionally is like, oh, let me just go and, like, be evil, but
I don't think anybody in the right mind would just sit at a table with a whole bunch of people talking about, yeah, let's start a fire, dude.
no, because the devil can just
yeah.
subconsciously get into you.
I'm saying I agree with you. I agree. I'm like, I don't think somebody in the right mind would just sit and say, you most definitely gonna be possessed.
No,
For you to just think of some.
I mean, yeah, because if anything, in the end, it's the devil that's, like, the one who's upset and is obviously controlling all these people. These people aren't evil, is what is in them is evil.
With that being said, I believe that Hollywood is using Revelation as a way to scare people and let them know, like, yo, the time is coming to an end and all of this stuff. I don't think it's God. It's supposed to happen. Like you said, we all have agency, you know. However, I just don't think it's God that's causing this to happen. Even though it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen, but it could also not happen. If that makes sense. if people want, like, again, if the devil didn't interfere with his people, I don't think this would be happening. Like, it's supposed to happen, but it's also it can either go both ways.
Then it wouldn't be in the Bible. There's still so much that has to happen before God can come.
Well, that's natural stuff we're talking about.
There's still just like unnatural, like evil people.
I'm saying those signs of the sign. I'm not talking about the signs of the actual signs of God coming or cleansing the earth. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how we have agency. Because I have agency. This one, I can choose to go punch somebody, or I could choose not to punch somebody. Is what I mean. It can go both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, yeah, I think we've touched upon a lot of things. If there's something else you wanted to add, I think I pretty much talked about what I want to talk about. You guys let me know about the fires, the airplane. Remember we were talking about the fires in the airplane, the hospital? No, don't scratch the hospitals. Don't talk about that yet. That's the next episode. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the fires in LA. I think it's a distraction. It's a distraction for them to really do what they want to do, which is build new smart cities.
And it's a distraction too. We didn't talk about that. Like these things too. Like the thing is like I don't know if y'all like pay attention, but something will happen on, like, you'll see something on the news and then like 2 days later something else will happen, and like it's just a lot of distractions because behind everything happening there's other things happening that we're not aware of. But I don't know, there's a lot of like opinions and different beliefs and just things we don't know about what's happening now, but in the end, like, just like what I believe is, like, obviously God knows like what's gonna happen, and he's not, the thing about God versus the devil is the devil wants us to follow him. He doesn't want us to have a choice at all. The difference between God is God gives us a choice to either follow him or the devil. So, yeah, obviously, so like people are like, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, for one, it's life. Like, we're here for a reason, and we wouldn't have happiness without the bad. And if we have agency, like that's why things happen to us. Like, not everything is God. Sometimes it's, God gave us an earth and people, and then everything that's happened since that is because of us, like our choices. So people are so quick to blame God but not look at their actions and the other people that cause these things. So
yeah, so you guys let me know what you guys think about what we just talked about. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, whether you agree or disagree. I just want to start a conversation, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. First off, thank you for watching. I know in the end I usually ask the question for the next guest, but I don't know. We're gonna sometimes it's gonna be just me by myself. I'm gonna be talking to the camera, let you get my thoughts and what's going on and share that with you guys. Hopefully you guys also can interact with me in the comments and let me know what you guys think, or what you guys think I should talk about, touch on more things of that nature. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see more.